This is one of my favorite cities in the world, Vancouver, British Columbia. The view from this seawall will never get old for me. I will always enjoy that view. Same cannot be said for gas prices, which you will never be able to see gas for under $1 a liter again, but you still can see the Gastown steam clock. We will miss shopping over at Eden's, which was such an icon over the years. And then there was Sears, which just never made sense. And believe it or not, once upon a time, in a galaxy far away, the Canucks used to be a respectable team. Food over the years has always been fire. Top-notch, delicious, international food. You name a cuisine, they've got it and they're making it to the top of their game. Whether it's trying brand new restaurants or going to old favorites, we'll always love the food when going out to Vancouver. Back in 1991 here, the city probably looked way bigger to me. But even now, as I've grown and as the city itself has evolved, I still continue to find new things that excite me all the time here. Is it just me, or is it kind of annoying to have that chevron and what used to be an Esso barge just photobombing and advertising in every photo you try to take? I was really excited to finally go up to the top of Harbour Center when I was little, to be able to see the entire city, even though I wasn't tall enough at the time to see fully over the window right there. Here's what's unique about Vancouver. 1 minute, you could be sitting on the Skytrain, completely immersed in this concrete jungle, yet still be walking distance away from Stanley Park and being surrounded by the redwoods and these ferns. Or, even better, you could take a car ride, go up towards Squamish, and then see this beautiful coastline, snow-capped mountains towards Whistler, or even going towards Capilano and seeing the waterfalls there, and this park that's surrounded by Capilano Suspension Bridge. As basic as Starbucks sounds today, once upon a time, yeah, it was actually a luxury. And what better place to kick back with a hot chocolate and watch the rain than there, and be able to check out the Gastown steam clock, which, built in 1977, still is an attraction today. In addition to Starbucks and Tucson, we also didn't have much of public transportation such as buses. So whenever I saw these things, I thought they were so high-tech and cool. But of course, looking at these now, they're so antiquated compared to the newer buses 30 years later. And not to mention, they are also a lot more comfortable today than they were before, especially on a hot day in Stanley Park. But of course, now there's the huge expansion of the Vancouver Skytrain, which began its roots out in Burnaby over here, going over to the Expo Center. And like everything else, it's changed much over the years since it being built in 1985 for the 86 Expo. But if you do prefer driving, traffic, it hasn't gone anywhere over the last 20 years. Nope. If anything, the traffic has just gotten worse. This is going over the Granville Bridge, and this is downtown heading towards Stanley Park and eventually going to the Lionsgate Bridge, which is still worth the drive. And like anything else, it's also had its share of makeovers over the last 20 years, but beautiful as always.
Went by but felt like hours, seasons multiply.
it weren't for these breathtaking views, I still would not deal with this traffic. Nope, I'll be taking my chances, catching the train. Oh, and did I need to remind you once again how much gas has changed over the last 22 years? Stanley Park is where I just go to get away and to enjoy the nature and the beauty of this wonderful place. This spot is right over where the Lionsgate Bridge is, and I recommend this if you want a great view of the water, some of the mountains of North Vancouver, or if you want to see this big old ship coming through. In reflection, there's definitely a lot more humans now, and I remember there used to be a lot more animals before. I got raccoons, taken over by some peacocks over here, all in Stanley Park. Which I'm not sure if it's a rumor or not, but I heard at one point there used to be kangaroos, but I cannot cite that source anymore, nor have I ever seen a kangaroo out here. This might be called the Lost Lagoon in Stanley Park, but it's certainly not hidden. And it has, for many, many years, still been a favorite place to go on a walk. And if you're from Vancouver, you remember Eden's. Here's location at Pacific Center Mall, in addition to that fountain, because apparently droughts weren't a thing back in the day. This is the side of this huge Eden's department store, which eventually went bankrupt and turned into a Sears side project, which I don't know who thought it was a good idea to put a Sears there. And speaking of weird things, anyone remember this really narrow, shady tunnel to get into the underground parking? Yeah. That was a thing also, but now that rounded facade of Eden's has turned into this squared shaped modern Nordstrom building, complete with apparently modern companies like Microsoft, so-so, with some AR looking stuff right there. Yeah, but here's that, again, squared entrance and stairway. Big change from the rounded stairways of Eden's. Back when life was all in sepia. Nah, just 2000 here in Queen Elizabeth Park. And if you've already lived in Vancouver or have visited this city, you definitely don't need me to banter too much about the city, because you already know so much about it. Yet if you still haven't been to Vancouver yet and just watching this video to maybe see what's out here, you know what? I say just visit. No need to hear my opinions of it. I think you'll find that you're going to experience maybe different things than I have, and I hope that you maybe even share some of the things that you've discovered that maybe I haven't seen yet. I'd love to hear everyone's takes in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll leave you guys with a few more memories from Vancouver, and hope to see you guys in another episode. Take care.